Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hello, welcome once again to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and we're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today taking questions about whatever it is that you're going through. If you're stuck in the past or have lost hope for the future, the best time to get back on track is Thursday. No, today, right now. Call in. 1-800-229-3000 is the number. We can help you. And here to help, we've got Dr. Jim Burns, the founder of Homeward, and licensed marriage and family therapist Marc Cameron. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
I'm doing good. You know, I'm looking at Marc's book, Understanding Your Attachment Style.
You mean this one?
It just came out. It's a #1 release for new releases. That's amazing.
Yes, it is on Amazon. But you should get it through us, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Speaking of Marc, what's on your mind, sir?
Well, today I want to talk about signs of depression and how to manage depression when it's time to get more help. So depression doesn't always begin with a major event like a breakup or loss of a job or death of a loved one. Sometimes it starts as this gradual decline that just seeps in, and you don't realize it until one day you just realize, I just feel a little bit different than I used to feel. So maybe you're noticing less joy, maybe days feel heavier, it takes more effort to get through them. You might find your mind distracted with unwanted thoughts. And it could also be things that you were once excited about, things that you once enjoyed, things that energized you, they just don't anymore. Now, depression doesn't always look like deep sadness. Especially in men and teens, it can show up as irritation or just this short fuse. And if you're experiencing all these things, you might catch yourself sleeping more, eating more, or isolating, staying home, just not getting involved, turning down invitations. And that can all lead to this guilt of, I should be doing more. And so these are all signs of depression. Now, depression it's not about labeling yourself. It's about paying attention to what your mind, your body, and your heart are actually saying to you. And it's not a character flaw. Many people feel inadequate because they can't think their way out of depression. But that's the whole point with depression. Is one of the side effects of depression is negative thinking. It's that hopelessness, it's that self-criticism, loss of motivation. It just leads you to this downward spiral that you just get stuck in. So, we all have hard days, but depression, it's that persistent feeling that goes on and lasts for days and for weeks. And that's a signal. And signals are meant to alert us to something. They're not meant to shame us, right? They're meant to push us toward reaching out for help. And that's what is going to interrupt the cycle. Now, depression's most effectively addressed through therapy and medication. So medication stabilizes the mood while therapy addresses the root cause for long-term change. And while you could try one or the other, studies consistently show that when you combine the two, you can significantly improve recovery and prevent recurrence. Now, the most common objection I hear about medication is, I want to try this on my own first, or I want to wait until I've tried all the other efforts. But medication is not weakness. Most of us don't think too much about taking a pill for a headache or muscle pain or something like that. And medication for antidepressants work in a very similar way. They just help regulate the brain's natural chemistry. A simple way to picture it's like putting a washcloth over a bathtub so it drains slower. So medication just helps your brain's mood regulating neurotransmitter just stay in that synapse longer, and it gives extra time for that transmitter to connect with other brain signals. And that can take a few weeks. So don't wait until things are really bad. That might just prolong unnecessary pain. Okay, reaching out for help is not an admission of defeat. It's courage, and it's wisdom. So if what I'm saying is resonating with you, don't wait until you're overwhelmed. The holidays tend to bring about depression for many people. You're not meant to carry that alone. So support doesn't just make the struggle lighter, it makes healing possible.
Ooh. Yeah, you can exercise your wisdom and courage by calling in to New Life Live today. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours, so grab an open line. The sooner you call in, the better of a chance you'll get on.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Townsend. The new year is a perfect time to move from intention to action. If you felt a nudge to deepen your leadership, your counseling, or coaching skill set, the Townsend Institute at Concordia University, Irvine can help you move forward. We offer accredited online degree programs in counseling, leadership, executive coaching, and consulting, from certificates to master's to PhD programs. Classes for spring 2026 begin in February with flexible online options designed for busy professionals. If growth is on your list for the year ahead, take a next step today. Sign up for our online information night, Townsend Institute Live, on Wednesday, January 14th. You'll interact directly with our faculty, our staff, and our alumni. You'll get your questions answered, and we'll waive your application fee for attending. So learn more and register at cui.edu/Townsend. I hope to meet you soon. God bless.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
When you order Marc Cameron's aforementioned new book, Understanding Your Attachment Style from New Life, instead of anywhere else, you'll get exclusive bonus content not available anywhere else, including a companion workbook PDF, an Introduction to Attachment Styles video, and the Developing Healthy Relationships ebook or PDF. Order your copy today at store.newlife.com. It makes a great gift, and if you order by this Friday, it'll arrive before Christmas. Because Mark is going to be delivering it. He's just going to go door to door in his sleigh.
Along with Santa.
Around. Yes.
He'll give me the ride.
All right, 1-800-229-3000 is the number to reach us today, and we're going to begin our time on the phones with Lynn, who listens to us on KKLA in Los Angeles. Hello, Lynn. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hello. Thank you very much. Good to be here. I'm glad I was able to make it through today this morning.
Yeah. How can we help you? What's going on?
Well, I have two grown children, adult children. Our son is 34, our daughter's 36. Growing up, they were the closest of friends, and then our son got married about 8 years ago. Now lives up in Northern California in Sacramento area with his wife and now 3 boys. And the first few years were good, I would say, and we were able to see our 2 oldest grandsons and communicate with them via FaceTime when we were not able to be up there. But his wife and his mother-in-law are a very heavy influence in things that are completely and diametrically opposed to our values and the way he was raised. Mm. And I say that because COVID hit, and they were requiring us to get vaccinated or whatever to come up and even see them. And I said, well, honey, I'm not going to do that. But he said, okay, we'll just quarantine. And so we did that, and we were at least able to have a visit. But it just kind of went on a downhill slide from there, to the extent where he completely cut off his sister altogether, because she lived in a different state and she didn't quarantine. And so therefore he refused to see her in 2020 for Thanksgiving and any time thereafter. Mm-hmm. And since then, the last thing that happened is we were on a phone call with the boys back in January of 2022 with our grandsons, who are at the time 2 and 4, or 2 and almost 4. And our almost 4-year-old had invited us to his birthday party, and we said we'd love to. Is it okay with Mommy and Daddy? Our son grabbed the phone, chastised us up one side and down the other, and we have been cut off ever since, because he said, why would you say that to our son? You should just tell him you can't make it. And it was just, so anyways, it's been incredibly difficult since then. And just to sum it up, my mother-in-law passed away in 2023, at the end of 2023. My husband had to goad him, our son, into coming to his grandmother's funeral. He wouldn't even come out and see her before she passed. So it's things like that that are very difficult, and we don't get any response on phone calls or anything. And the only response I have received are very, very lengthy, very nasty text messages from his wife when I have sent a birthday card to my son.
Wow. We are so sorry you're going through all this, Lynn.
Yes. So you get that text when you send a birthday card to your son, her husband, not to their kids. That's when
Correct.
Wow. This sounds like it could be politically focused. Do you think so?
That's some of it, I would imagine. We don't ever bring that up or talk up prior to being cut off. We never brought up politics or talked about that sort of thing.
And you don't
but
post
the
on
influence
social
is there.
media or anything like that about politics?
I don't post on no. Scriptures, not politics. However, I can't say the same for our daughter-in-law. She's on social media pretty much all the time, and so is her mother. So that's that.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, unfortunately, in this last couple of campaign cycles or 3 campaign cycles, people have got very, very polarized. And I had one friend who I sent a message to about a year ago, just checking in with her, and she texted me back and said, "I think you have different political. Basically, I think you have different political beliefs than me, and I'm cutting everyone off who does." And I was shocked. This person had been my friend for about over 10 years, and I don't post anything about politics. And so it seems like people have really been divided or really been hurt by the political messages that are coming out there. And it seems like, you're either in one camp or you're in the other camp. And so this is difficult. So you don't have any relationship at all with your son and his wife. Is that right?
Not at this point in time. And we were incredibly close. Forever. And we've been cut off from our grandchildren. In fact, there's a third grandson that was born in January last year. We got a text message, at least from our son, letting us know, A, she was pregnant. This was in December. And B, the baby's due in January.
Okay, so it sounds like he wants to maintain at least some kind of contact, even if she doesn't. To at least update you. Well, it sounds like it, to at least update you on some of those things. Do you have a family member or a close friend who might be willing to be an intermediary?
Oh, I'm sure we would. We do. It's he cut everybody off on our side of the family, including friends that he grew up with.
Wow.
Okay.
Jim, what are your thoughts?
Well, Lynn, I'm really sorry. And I think they've made a very poor choice and a bad decision. At the same time, as you develop this relationship, know this. I mean, I don't know if this is good news or bad news. It's terrible news in our world. But 27% of families in the United States have at least one child or person that they're estranged from. You can Google me on that and look at it. But it's crazy today. So what is going on in your world is not that different than 1 out of 4 families. This is just heartbreaking, though. I mean, I'm heartbroken listening to it. One of the things I find is that as much as on your side you want to fix it, and it doesn't sound like you're preaching Adam. I mean, there are times when we get the political thing like Mark was talking about, or the spiritual thing, which could probably be a part of it too. You're posting scriptures, and they may not like scriptures. Nevertheless, you're not pushing at him. So a couple of things. One is, I think the best thing to do is to get the help of somebody who deals with estrangement. I'm actually going to give you a couple of names here. I'm going to tell you right from the beginning that I love these people. They're not necessarily coming from a Christian view. And one is Tina Gilbertson, who's in British Columbia, and her book is called Reconnecting with Your Estranged Adult Child. Tina has been on my podcast. I think she's great. She's very open to faith things, but she tells it. She and a man named Joshua Coleman, who have also done great writing in estrangement. If you look it up, you'll see that their names will come to the top. Those people are people who do this every day, day in and day out. And you want to be around somebody who can help you learn how to do that. And you can do that from their books. And it kind of, what they'll say is, and I think you're kind of doing this, but what they'll say is, don't try to make it you're wrong and we're right. Just try to, scoot back in by saying, I know something is going on and I don't know what it is. And I want you to know that we're going to, if you don't want us to be around. We're not going to do that, but I'd love to check in with you in 6 months and just see how it's going. I love, the grandkids. I love you. And make sure when you say this to your son, I love your wife, whatever. And leave it at that. And then eventually what we see is that things will break open. And what that means is there might be an opening on their part. There may be a aha. There may be, like you say, a grandma or a grandpa passes, and all of a sudden there's a moment of, understanding there. A lot of times, what I say also in a book I wrote on adult children is, the way to your son is through your daughter-in-law, and that's really tough because your daughter-in-law is not helping this scene at all. Mm-hmm. And yet what we find is she's blocking for some reason. And there could be all kinds of reasons. There's reasons that she could be, there's just 100 reasons why, and we don't know. But the point that I say is that if there's even a chance to, send her a Starbucks card and send her the birthday card. And if she gets mad at it, she did, But I would kind of listen to what they want and let them take the lead. But you say, and maybe you've already done this, but you say, I really want, that relationship. And it's about the grandkids. Can we send Christmas presents to the grandkids? Can we do this? And sometimes you see an opening. A lot of times, frankly, you see an opening, but it takes a lot of time. And I would say you and your husband get on the same page. And sometimes the best thing to do is to meet with even a counselor. Now, I just talked about people who wrote books, but there are people in your area who would be great counselors, and we can refer you to somebody who could help you think through, kind of a game plan. It's not a game plan that you want or that you like, because the game plan says tiptoe back into this. Don't start with you're wrong and we're right, which I don't hear you doing. You have a lovely way about going about this. But that's what works. We're seeing it work. But again, we're seeing it's crazy what's happened in the last, say, 15 years. Mm-hmm. Even counselors are suggesting to people, don't, do estrangement. And it's counselors who I don't agree with. I don't think that's right. But they're getting a lot of input. They're getting a lot, and she's on social media, and social media is also doing that. So I realized I just kind of talked. But how does that feel to you?
It makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate it. I will say that is a lot of what we've been doing over the last 3.5, almost 4 years.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Where we still send Christmas cards, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, or birthday cards, rather, and so forth. I just don't know if they're getting them because, if it's Amazon sends me a picture, but that it's at the front door anyway.
Yeah.
But she is a stay-at-home mom, and he is, out working, and so he's away from the house all day long. So it's, it's. Anyway, it was, it's.
No, but this is where patience is so tough because you're doing the right things. I sense that with you. Sometimes you have somebody, and we talk about estrangement. You go, okay, you're doing it all wrong. No, I think you're probably doing it really right, and you got a tough one, and it's just going to take time. And part of that is, you don't know what's going on with your son and with her. So you don't know what their story is. But she's really got him, holding him tight for some reason. And that has some fear probably on her part too, because she doesn't want him to go your direction. I'm sorry for that. There are breakthroughs. I mean, I hear it every day. This is kind of what I do, and I just hear breakthroughs every day. I hear really crummy stuff too, but there are breakthroughs when people do it patiently, like you're doing. So sometimes you just have to hear from somebody, atta boy, atta girl, and keep on doing it. But not easy. But get more. Sometimes it's really helpful to honestly. I would suggest that you read Tina Gilbertson's book. And again, we don't carry it here. We like it, but we don't carry it. And you can get it on Amazon and have it tomorrow if you want. It really walks through this in a great way.
Yeah, Jim gave you such a comprehensive answer. I don't know there's too much that I can add to that, just to say that it's going to be the long game, as Jim was saying, and to accept that it's most likely going to be an unbalanced relationship. When even as you progress to, if you can, get to deeper levels of it, where it's most likely going to be, maybe she shares her hurts and you're not going to be able to share yours with her, because she would pull away from you. But there is hope, I think, because, again, as Jim's saying, who knows what happens in people's lives. And then as grandkids grow up, too, they tend to ask about grandparents. And I've also seen kids who get to the stage where they're late teens, and then they want to know their grandparents, and they reach out, and the parent then has no control over them.
Right. You're right.
So sad, too, that Lynn says she doesn't post anything political on social media. She posts Bible verses, and maybe even that is triggering, and maybe it's even seen as political.
And it's a big deal. That doesn't mean she doesn't keep doing it. It just simply means that that's potentially a trigger for this daughter-in-law.
Yeah. Lynn, we're going to send you a copy of Dr. Jim Burns' book, Doing Life with Your Adult Children. It's available in the newlife.com store as well. But Lynn, we're going to send one to you. All right, more phone calls coming up. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. Chandler, Katie, Mike, you're all coming up, and everyone else too. 1-800-229-3000.
Hello, everybody. It's Becky Brown, and I'm coming to you with an urgent need. There are many people that are in difficult relationships, difficult places in their lives.
How do I navigate through that and not to hurt my son?
We had some generous friends of New Life that started a matching gift, and every gift will be doubled up to $475,000. The matching window closes December 31st, so don't wait. Every moment matters in recovery, healing, and restoration.
I do a lot of work in my local church, and so just being able to hear y'all work through some of these situations really helps me to have some insight on how to help others.
Make your gift today by going to newlife.com, click on Donate, or text the word MATCH to 28950. You can also call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Together, we will bring hope and help to so many more people. And I want to say thank you in advance. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or you can text the word MATCH to 28950.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Generosity changes lives. When you give, you're helping people receive godly counseling, spiritual insight, and resources during their darkest seasons. And right now, your gift has twice the impact due to a matching gift. You can give online at newlife.com/match or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text the word match to 28950. And if you'd like to reach us here in the studio today, we're going to be here for 2 hours, and 1-800-229-3000 is that number to call. Chandler hung up, so we're going to talk to Mike. Chandler, if you're still listening, call back. Mike in San Antonio, Texas, listening on Sirius XM channel 131. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hey guys, I've listened to y'all for years upon years. Not just this topic, but many topics.
I'm hearing a lot of background noise, Mike. Is that something you can... Oh, I don't hear it now, so whatever you just did.
How about now?
Perfect. Yes, let's hear it.
Took my headphones out. Okay. First off, I've listened to y'all for years. I love y'all. Y'all have helped me on so many things that some things you just don't know until someone tells you. You know, it's right in front of your face, but you can't see it until someone takes the glasses off. So I appreciate y'all. Do you still hear me good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So the thing is, I have come to realization that I have depression, and I usually material items, I guess it's a man thing, but material items will make me happy for a certain, if I can get a new Ferrari and I love it for a month or a year, and then and then I need something else to keep me happy, and then it's something else to keep me happy. And I'm at the point where I realize a pattern, and I know one thing that works. And I used to smoke a lot of pot, and it does help, but I'm constantly coming to the Lord. Like, I don't have a clean and conscious, sober mind to hear the Lord, and the Lord doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked. So then I quit. But then when I quit, I'm back into sadness constantly, and I don't believe in medication because I don't like pharmaceutical drugs. Our country puts stuff that no other country allows, so I'm just afraid. And to go back to sober and conscious mind, I sit and beg constantly for the Lord just to give me a car crash or something where I come out of a coma a changed and happy man. And I'm at the end of my rope. I just don't know what to do. I've researched suicide and that the Lord will accept me into heaven if I kill myself. And I have children and a family I don't want to leave behind, but I can sit in a room full of everybody. I'm just sitting there sad, and I don't know what's wrong in my brain. I don't know how to find happiness besides material items. I beg the Lord to come and sit with me and fix me. Just sit with me. I'll never tell anybody that he revealed himself to me. But I don't know what to do.
Mike, when was the last time you used marijuana?
Probably a week ago. I told my wife I'm going to quit, and I have quit. But as soon as I quit, something comes up again. And luckily, I don't have the urge to go back to it because I'm trying to stand strong on my faith. But I don't know anything that makes me... I don't know what else to do because I don't want to take drugs. Because anytime you see a commercial, it's like possible side effects, suicide. You tend to see, if you have these thoughts, call your doctor and quit taking the medicine. So it's like, well, that's why I took the medicine.
Mm-hmm. Mark, what would you say?
Wow, Mike, you are in a really dark place. I'm so sorry to hear that you're struggling here. This sounds really hard. What if I were to tell you, Mike, that you are medicating yourself? I'm hearing you say that. I'm hearing you say that you're medicating yourself with marijuana and you're medicating yourself with things. You're buying things, and that's actually causing like a temporary dopamine hit in your brain, but it's not sustainable. So you are medicating yourself. You're just doing it in a different way rather than through, again, the pharmacological.
But I carry guilt that I'm not putting my faith in the Lord. I constantly think I'm...
Yeah, and so that's
very close to the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint him. I want as many crowns as I can get when I get to heaven. I don't want to get there and say I could have had 20 more, but I just wasn't strong enough and faithful enough, so I'm carrying my one.
So that's part of what I don't know if you heard I think you probably did hear my opening, but that's part of what I said in my opening, is that part of depression is that negative thinking cycle, that it puts you in this downward spiral because you have hopelessness, you have self-criticism, you have loss of motivation, then you have guilt, and then you should yourself, and you can't think your way out of it. And so the thing I think the most is I'm very independent and successful. I'm very successful and independent. So that's where I think I beat myself up, where I'm constantly telling myself, like, I'm a man and I can man it out, but I'm not manning it out. Right. Do you have a therapist, Mike?
No, and the reason is, A, they cost a lot of money, and B, if you ask a single therapist, how many patients have you cured, they laugh at you.
Right. So here's what I'm hearing. I really want to advise you to get a therapist. I mean, I understand what you're saying about the side effects of medication, and you are right. There are side effects to all medication, and so there really is this weighing of a benefit and a cost. But research does show that you can improve significantly with therapy and or medication, and if you combine them together, significantly both. And so I think what you're going through now is just kind of part of the negative spiral of that thinking of it's not going to work, it's not going to help, and then that keeps you stuck. And I want to encourage you just to let us connect you with someone and just give them a try. Try it out for 6 weeks, or try it out for 2 months and just see what happens with it. I don't think there's any risk in learning just to give that a try. Would you be willing to do that if we could connect you with someone?
Anything, because it's affecting my relationships with my newlywed wife and her child and everything. Like I said, I can be the happiest. I can't. Everybody's in the room, and I'm the most miserable, and I don't know why. I have everything. I'm successful. I have everything, but I'm not happy.
Okay, we've got to take a break, Mike. We'll come back to you when we return here on New Life Live at 1-800-229-3000. Marc Cameron and Dr. Jim Burns are here to give you advice and counsel and godly wisdom at 1-800-229-3000. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours, so call in. We would love to chat with you.
Are you ready for the holidays, or are you dreading the holidays? Well, we have a new webinar, and it's called Healthy Holiday Boundaries. The holiday season often brings joy, but it also can bring pressure, guilt, and emotional overwhelm. Healthy Holiday Boundaries is a 90-minute faith-based webinar. You'll learn how to protect your peace, manage expectations, and set healthy limits without guilt. Whether you're facing family tensions, an overcommitted schedule, or emotional fatigue, this webinar will help you reclaim calm and connection. This isn't just information, it's an invitation.
The Healthy Holidays Boundaries webinar is Wednesday evening, December 10th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com. Experience the freedom Christ offers and discover how to give your best yes and your healthiest no this holiday season. 1-800-639-5433.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Mike in San Antonio, can you hear us? Are you with us, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Sir.
So, Dr. Jim Burns, what did you want to say to Mike?
Hey, Mike, I think you're so articulate, and I can see why you're successful. I want to talk to you as a successful man. Not too long ago, I was speaking at a YPO, Young Presidents Association, not a Christian group, but me being unashamedly Christian, I kind of brought some stuff up. And I said to these people, what has brought you to this level of CEOs and presidents? And you know what? They all said in their own way, they had mentors, they had counselors, they had people around them who helped them. Kind of the Bible says iron sharpens iron. And I want to challenge you a little farther than even what Mark was saying. Is I want to challenge you to develop a circle of support. Now, you said you're independent and you're successful, and that is us rugged. And it's funny, I'm using an illustration of the Marlboro Man that only dates me like crazy. But the rugged individual, and you're that guy. I can tell. Awesome. But those kind of people, when they have literally a medical condition, they've got to have a circle of support. So let's put a circle of support around you. Let's say somebody from your church who can help disciple you, that you're successful, you're independent, but at the same time there's a pastor, there's somebody who you want to spend time with who can kind of rub shoulders with you and help you, not just on the depression thing, but just help you become the man that you want to be. You want to be a good loving husband to your new wife, you want to be a loving father to this new child, and so you do that. And then you want to make sure that you're doing okay medically, on the medical side. So, you go talk to a doctor. I mean, good, successful people aren't afraid to talk to a counselor because the counselor actually may give them some wisdom. And the counselor may say the first thing, you know what, let's don't do medication. That's between you and the counselor, and it's ultimately between you. However, so I'm not saying, here, let's throw medication at you, but I think good, independent, successful people have a counselor, have some discipleship going on, have other people kind of speaking into their life, because depression is is lonely, and you have a deep depression. I mean, I would say if we were going to assess you, we've talked to you for just a few minutes, but we would say your depression, when you talked about looking at suicide and things like that, that's scary stuff. We don't want you to do that. We want you to continue to live.
And people always say, we'll be here for you if you need someone to call. And the first thing in the back of my mind says, if I get to that point, I'm not going to call you.
No, I know.
People that do it don't reach out.
Okay, but I get it. So what I am saying is, you want to make sure that you develop people around you that you do feel safe, that you could call. And you're a successful guy, so you got to have people who are successful. So find a Christian counselor who's amazing. And you just go, God, I didn't know they had people like this. Marc Cameron is not in San Antonio, Texas, but I'd go meet with this guy because he's an amazing person. So it's that kind of thing. Find somebody, and there are great people in San Antonio. Find somebody who you can't, you're not going to lead. You're going to let them talk into your life and stuff. And again, if they said, I suggest medication, then fine, don't do it if you don't think so. But you don't want to stay in this place. And so my hope for you, kind of more of a pep talk, is my hope is that you go, look, I'm going to bring people around me who are going to help me be the best Mike I can be, and the best husband, and the best father, and the best Christ follower. And obviously, when you're depressed, and this is for anybody, when they're depressed, they don't have control over that. You have control over a lot of stuff in your life. You're successful and all that. But depression doesn't do that. So there are some pretty awesome people who have struggled with depression and who had to get help so that they could be all that God wants them to be. I'm not telling you what that help's going to be, but that's what you want to do. Just like, but you became successful because you poured your life into something. Now become successful at getting through your depression. So I'm just telling you, and again, I wouldn't say this to most people who are our callers. Don't wimp out, but do what you can do. But don't make a medical decision, or even a psychological decision, or a spiritual decision based on you, because you're doing that from a deficit right now with depression. So do it with people who are for you, and you got to find those people.
Mark, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think the last thing I just would add to what Jim's saying here is that God has designed us to have pain and experience pain, and while it's not pleasant, it's an indicator for us. And when we have mental pain, that's an indicator for us. And I hear you talking about wanting to be like Jesus, and Jesus was described as gentle and humble in heart. And so we need to be humble at times, and we need to realize that we need others around us. And, to admit that it's not weakness, it's actually wisdom.
What do you think, Mike?
It all sounds, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to take everything I can, because I got a lot of people that look up to me. A lot of people don't know that I'm the happiest person in the room, but I'm the most happiest. If you ever met me, you would think I have everything in the world. And I am so blessed, but I have this disease that I can't run from. One question I got, though, because I struggle with it, because I love the Lord. He has revealed himself so many times to me. I couldn't not believe. I couldn't. I just stick on a few things. One of them is the Lord doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked. So when I'm in and I mean that because sometimes when I self-medicate, because it's the only thing that makes me be normal around my wife, I'm just so worried that the Lord I'm in darkness because I'm self-medicating and he can't hear me. So then I'm like, well, when I don't self-medicate, I'm miserable. But whenever I medicate, I'm not miserable. But then I get miserable thinking the Lord can't hear me. So I'm constantly in this circle of,
Mike, can I make one suggestion? And it's not really going to cost you too much to do it. My suggestion is follow up with a psychiatrist. You don't have to take the medication, but follow up with a professional to see if there's a diagnosis there, because that diagnosis may help you make sense of what your experience is.
Yeah. And I have a scripture for you. Even at your darkest times, and when you've done this stuff, understand this. God says, I will never leave you or forsake you. And so he's not forsaking you in those times, even when you're being a goofball because, you feel bad. Somehow you have a theology that says, when I'm really bad, God's not going to listen to me. And I'm going to tell you, he's present right there. He's good with messes. He actually can be right in the middle of a mess. And he wants to help you out of that mess. And so please, think through your theology of, when I'm really bad, he's not listening, because that is not the case. And I can't find that anywhere in Scripture. And I want to challenge you on that too. I want to, we're doing kind of on my deal here, we're kind of doing, man to man here. But I want you to be somebody who takes all of the Scripture, and sometimes we have a loving Heavenly Father who, if one of your children did something really crazy, you're not going to hate them, and you are going to listen to them. That doesn't mean that you're going to, change their circumstances. Sometimes they're going to have to figure some things out on their own. Experience is a better teacher than advice sometimes. But God is there for you, and don't think He's not there even in your darkest hour.
Mike, we're going to send you a copy of 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety just for calling in to New Life Live today. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call, and we do love helping callers on this program, but sometimes more help is needed than what we can provide on the show. This is where working with a Christian counselor comes in. We have a nationwide network of Christian counselors who can help you with a struggle you're facing, a relationship issue, a trauma that's affecting your present, addiction in your life or a loved one's life, a desire to improve your life. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE to share what you're looking for in a counselor and get a referral. And Mike, we're going to do that for you too. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call into the studio today. And let's go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Kate is here, listening on newlife.com. Hey there, Kate. Welcome.
Hi there.
How can we help you today?
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
Well, I have an adult daughter situation, and I am seeing a counselor. She lives in New York. She's married with a new baby, and she's so mean to me.
Has she always been mean to you?
No.
When did this begin? After she moved?
It really started, her dad left our family when she was 18. She just went off to college, and and she's the oldest of 3 children. So, I always felt we were very close, but now she says that she's never had a good relationship with me. And she's met someone from a different cultural background, and she lived with him for a long time. She finally married. I was not. Me or my ex-husband, we were not invited to the wedding. So to preface some things, she says her dad is dead to her. At least she would talk to me, but then when I've gone to see her, she gets so angry. And
yeah. We've got to go to break, but stay on the phone and we'll come back to you and everyone else that's calling into the program. I'm so glad we're going to be here for 2 hours today because we've got lots of people calling in to 1-800-229-3000. We're going to help as many of you as we can today on New Life Live.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 13th to the 15th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the code NLL for a discount. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol.
I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And back to Katie in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You still with us, Katie?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what kind of advice would you guys have for, or I think there was something else that you wanted to say, Katie, before the music. You were in the middle of a thought.
Well, I've written my daughter a letter, and I don't know whether to send it just to her or to her and her husband.
Okay. Jim?
Well, writing a letter is really, really good, as long as the letter doesn't go into too much detail, because what you want is you want the relationship. You want the purpose of the letter, I'm guessing, is to, the long-term purpose is to be back in a relationship, but the short-term purpose is to get her to talk to you. And so again, the letter, if it's affirming, if it's loving, if it's, saying that,
yes,
you care deeply, but you don't go into the details of the letter, because sometimes what that does is that's kind of starting a tit for tat, and you don't want that, especially because she has so much anger. But if you a lot of times they will respond with love. And so when you write that, when you re-look at the letter before you send it, make sure that it's a letter based on that. Now, you have 25 other things you want to say, but keep it short and sweet and loving. Kindness matters. And even in a letter, if you say, it sounds like she's more at fault than you are, but if you just say, hey, I'm so sorry for anything that I've done to cause this separation, and I really do want to be back, and I apologize, but I kind of don't know what to apologize for, so I would like to meet with you. That kind of a thing. If you wrote that letter, send it. If you wrote a letter that had too much details, I would back off. Write all those things down on paper. That's for another time.
I was going to ask you, Katie, did you already write the letter?
Yes, I did.
And how long is the letter? How long is the letter, would you say?
The letter's not very long.
Yeah, okay.
And
Well,
actually, I got the letter from, I watched an episode of Dr. John Townsend on Focus on the Family, and he was dealing with this, because I'm kind of at my wit's end.
Yeah.
I'm going to a I'm going to a counselor, and she's read the text that my daughter sent, and she said, I really, from what I'm reading here, I see that you are reaching out. You're trying to be kind, but based on what she said to me, my daughter actually said she could barely stay in her marriage. And she feels very controlled by the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And my last visit, I did say some things, because the mother-in-law was very controlling. Now, she was very nice, and I was very engaging with her and her husband. I'm single. Well, I already said that. But I was very engaging with them, but I will admit that I said too much. But I was trying to put my daughter in a better light with her, which I shouldn't have done. But she was saying some things, and I said, my daughter went through a lot of stress when her dad left our family, And I said, her being the oldest, she felt the responsibility for younger siblings. I said, she's been through a lot. Well, the mother-in-law used it and blurted this out to my daughter and said, your mother told me. Well, then my daughter got mad at me.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you for defending your daughter, especially if you think that she's being mistreated. I think you just gave us some key information there that your daughter feels like she's being controlled in the relationship, and I think maybe some of what is coming out on you is part of what she's feeling in that, because I can hear that you're saying that even though she's cut your husband off, she still will is willing to talk to you even though she's angry. So she needs you for something. And now you said she just had a baby. So I also wonder if there could also possibly be some postpartum depression going on here that is fueling some of her irritation and anger. And people also, when you have this type of thinking, you can rewrite your history. You can go back and because you're just seeing everything through a negative lens and you just devalue and you say, well, it was always like this, when really it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think you try and open up a conversation, as Jim's saying, if, letters kind of like a resume, right? The resume just gets you the interview and then you talk more. And so I think you want to try and see if you can get a conversation with her. And here's what I would say. Hey, I have some things that I want to say to you, but I also want to hear you out. So can I start with hearing you out first, but then ask if you will hear me out afterwards? And in that conversation, you demonstrate to her what good listening is. You don't interrupt, you don't roll your eyes, you repeat back what she's saying, you try and empathize and validate with her perspective. And then hopefully as you do that, you model for her taking turns, and then you get to share. But I think I would focus more on, rather than, what your hurts are in the relationship, focus more on that she's in a controlling relationship, and who knows what other abuse might be going on. And so she may not be in a place to really kind of hear you out if she's got that type of stressor going on in her life.
Yeah, you want to be the safe person in her life right now, especially because she kind of opened up about her marriage. Now, again, because of that, by you being safe, that means if and kind of when more of this comes out, she needs to come back to mom. And so you want to make sure that you are, safe, and at the same time you do have to be honest with how this is all going. But I'd go light into it. I'd tiptoe into it, so that she feels comfortable talking to her mom. My guess is she misses mom, and she obviously has pain about her dad. But I think you got a shot at mending this relationship if you do it slowly and make it more about her and your love for her. And then, there comes a time when we have to have those conversations. But have those conversations with your counselor. And I think you're doing it right, by the way. Listening to John Townsend is great because what he has to say is wonderful. He's the good housekeeping seal of approval here at New Life. We love this man. And also, having a counselor. You're so far ahead of yourself. So keep on going. Great job.
I love the idea of a resume too, Mark.
I love
because don't make it formal with bullet points and headers and your phone number and all that, but just the idea of not getting into all the details. I've come across so many resumes in my line of work from people wanting to get employment, and it's usually just one page, and you put enough on there to make the boss, if you're looking for a job, just kind of like, oh, this person looks interesting. They've got lots of work experience. I think we should call this person in. But when you detail everything, a 7-page, even if you've got a lot of accomplishments, it may not be the best thing to send.
You're right. I'm stealing Mark's idea, by the way, because I've talked to folks who, that's just a great illustration.
Yeah.
I've stolen some of the things from his new book too, so I'm just admitting that in front of Mark right now.
Yeah, but you just said it sounded like something on page 31.
Page 31. Yeah. And it was his. I quoted him, and if I do it about 3 times, then I'll just say, I've always been thinking.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Kate, I think, that letter really, all it says is, I love you, I care about you, I want to restore our relationship and have a conversation. Can you let me know when you have time for that?
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, Katie, thank you for calling in today to New Life Live. We're going to send you a copy of Doing Life with Your Adult Children by Dr. Jim Burns. And you mentioned Dr. Townsend. He is going to be on New Life Live next week. We are looking forward to having him here in the studio, so we'll give you more information as we get closer to that date. We're going to be here in the studio for another hour at 1-800-229-3000. If you're on hold right now, stay on hold. We'll get to you ASAP. By the way, don't forget, this Wednesday is our Healthy Holiday Boundaries webinar. It's online, starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's $20 for a 90-minute webinar that includes 30 minutes of Q&A. So you will want to sign up for this. You can do it right now on our website, newlife.com, or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and you'll be all ready to go. We'll send you the registration link and everything after you sign up. All right, quick break, and then we'll be back with your phone calls here, 1-800-229-3000. Thanks so much for watching and listening to New Life Live.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.